In the previous video of this project, I took a broken EcoFlow power bank that had been water damaged and cut it open to harvest all the 18650 lithium cells. A little more than half of them were still good, and I built them into the base of this autonomous boat hull. It's a super long narrow hull designed for efficiency at lower speeds. And to waterproof the battery cells, I pumped it all full of silicone grease. My initial intention was to make it ride really low in the water like a Narco Sub, but it ended up being too tall for that. In hindsight, that's probably a good thing because the extra height makes it easier to keep the electronics dry, and the boat is more visible so it's less likely to get run over by other boats. After completing the build, I tuned the autopilot so that it could navigate autonomously, and did some wave testing. The boat seemed to handle everything I could throw at it, so I figured it was ready for its big mission, and that is to circumnavigate Bainbridge Island, just across from Seattle, Washington. I've attempted this waypoint mission once in the past, but the boat failed to complete it due to seagrass getting wrapped around the propellers. I'm hoping that won't be a problem this time around, because on my new boat I'm using weedless propellers from Blue Robotics. Seaweed isn't the only challenge this boat is up against. It also needs to have enough battery life to propel itself 35 miles or 56 kilometers without recharging. Pair that with corrosive saltwater, wind, waves, and strong currents, and it becomes obvious that this boat needs to be pretty capable if it's even going to come close to completing this mission. So before heading out to sea, I was sure to spray Corrosion X on all the exposed connectors and any circuit boards that hadn't previously been coated. I also made some little 3D printed drainage canals that allow water to drain out of the Tupperware boxes if it somehow gets in there. As a final step, I did a multicolor print on the Prusa XL to make some little signs to hopefully deter any fishermen or whoever from messing with it. And I also screwed in a mount for the Spot Trace GPS tracker. And with that, we were ready to head out to sea. It's 3 a.m. at the boat ramp, and it is not a quiet night. Here comes our research vessel. Here we go, it's gonna get bright. All right, the boat is launched. Flipping it into autonomous mode right now. Okay, it should be on its own. Oh, wrong switch. Okay, now it's in autonomous mode. If everything goes as planned, the boat should arrive back at this dock in about 15 hours, with zero human intervention along the way. As I packed up my stuff, the boat drove itself out of the harbor and started making its way towards the south end of Bainbridge Island. I told these guys it was a research boat because an autonomous DIY Narco Sub sounds a little weird. We've cleared the breakwater and now it's going out into the open ocean. Or, well, open sound.
We've seen the seal.
There's a seal?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. To receive the detailed telemetry data that you're seeing on the computer, I have to be within a few hundred meters of the boat. But to see its periodic position on my phone, I can be anywhere on Earth as long as I have an internet connection. That's using the Spot Trace GPS tracker. I'm looking for cruise ships and ocean liners and stuff. From here I cannot tell if those are boats or buoys. Looks like we missed that buoy, that's good. Oh crap, that looks like a big ship. All I can do is cross my fingers that that thing is able to see my little blinking lights out there. Based on the artificial horizon, it's not very calm out there. It looks like there's some waves. It's rocking quite a bit. It's on its own. There's not much I can do now. I guess it's time for bed. So as I tried to sleep for a couple of hours, the boat was on its way out to sea, with a speed set point of 2 knots or 2.2 miles per hour. Luckily, it didn't get run over by any ships or anything like that. This cruise ship did cross paths in front of it, but that was the closest call we had. There was quite a wide range of water conditions on the crossing. At one point it looked pretty rough, and at other times it appeared pretty calm. Here it sounds like the prop was hitting something. So that's a bit concerning, but eventually it seemed to throttle back up and continue on its way. Oh yeah, the product has arrived. Aha! There it is, that's the good stuff. That's that powder I do like. This stuff will really get you going, let me tell ya. Woo-wee. Love a good sip of AG1. This is their new berry flavor, and I think it's my favorite. AG1 has become a big part of my daily routine. So often am I just hyper-focused on a project, and I end up not really putting any brain cycles into eating healthy. For times like these, I drink AG1 to catch up on my micronutrients that are so often missing from our diets these days. It also contains pre- and probiotics, which are great for immune support and gut health. That's especially important this time of year. All you gotta do is drink 1 scoop of AG1 per day, and just like that, you're getting over 75 vitamins and minerals, 5 probiotic strains, superfoods, antioxidants, and more. All that in under a minute. It's fast, easy, and it tastes great. The AG1 Next Gen comes in 3 flavor options. They have citrus, tropical, and berry. And they also still have the original flavor if you prefer that. Even the healthiest of eaters can have some pretty big nutrient gaps in their diet. AG1 Next Gen contains more vitamins and minerals than ever, and it's clinically shown to help fill these nutritional gaps in your diet. If you want to try AG1 for yourself, go to drinkag1.com/rctestflight or scan the QR code. Doing so will get you a free welcome kit, which includes vitamin D3 plus K2, a shaker bottle, and a sample pack with all 3 new flavors. Big thanks to AG1 for sponsoring this video. And now back to the mission.
Good morning.
I think I started the autonomous boat at like 3:20 last night, and then I was in bed by maybe like 4. And then I pretended to sleep for like 2 hours. Now it's 7. So I should probably go launch the boat now and start trying to track down our dear friend, the drone boat. When I first woke up at like 5, I checked the GPS tracker and the boat had made it across the shipping lane just fine. So I was really relieved to see that. And then more recently I checked it again and it looks like we've made it across the Bainbridge ferry lane. So that's also great. I think we've avoided the 2 big potential catastrophic collision points so far, so that's good. So the plan is to loosely follow the autonomous boat in my real boat to make sure nothing catastrophic happens. Or if something catastrophic does happen, I'll be there to pick up all the pieces. I'm gonna be stuck on this little boat for a long time. Around the time I was launching my boat, some fishermen stopped to check it out.
Oh, it's got a little rudder on it. And it's got a Tupperware bowl. It's got a disposable Tupperware.
They followed it for a few minutes and tried to figure out what it was, but then lost interest and took off. On the other side of the water, I was on my boat and in pursuit. A lot of cool looking boats in here. Wow, that's a pirate ship. Or. Oh yeah, that's the SEAL hangout right there. There's a bunch of them. That's the club, the SEAL Club. We're about to round this corner with the lighthouse, and then I think we'll be within line of sight of the boat. But I don't think we'll be able to pick up a telemetry signal because it's probably like 6 or 7 miles away. We're just cruising along. Whoa, look at that big boy. I wonder if that's what we saw coming in last night. Our little autonomous boat is somewhere way over there in the distance. There's Seattle coming into view. Oh, there's a cruise ship there. Wow, there must be a lot of tourists. And here's a high-speed ferry. Damn, if that thing hit my boat, it'd be game over. That thing is gnarly. Look at all the freaking weight coming out the back. Holy crap. Here's a ferry coming out of Bainbridge Island Harbor. The autonomous boat has already passed that, so it must be down here now. Oh wow, yeah, the boat has completely rounded the point up there already, so I don't have line of sight from here. I think this is the Bremerton ferry. These are gonna be the really dangerous ones because the boat is gonna be sharing a relatively narrow channel with these ferries for a while. I planned the mission so that it kind of hugs the side, but hopefully it does that enough. There's some pretty big rollers going through here from the ferry wake. Look at these things. You could surf these on a foil. So we started way over there and came out, and the autonomous boat would have come out around this buoy. My goodness, that thing must weigh like 400 pounds. Uh-oh, the GPS pings have been really consistently spaced up until here. So there might be a problem. We're getting pretty close. I wonder what that thing is. Kind of looks like a car carrier. I think I see it. I think it might be that orange thing right there. I feel like I shouldn't get too close. I don't want to be a helicopter parent. Maybe I'll pull up the telemetry and we'll see what's going on. Oh man, yeah, the ground speed is 0.1 or 0.2 meters per second, which is way lower than it should be. But yeah, I think we're gonna have to go intervene because this thing does not seem healthy. Bummer, God darn it, Bainbridge Island gets me again. So if we rewind and replay the onboard footage, it becomes pretty obvious what's going on. Just listen to the motor. It definitely sounds like it's struggling to spin. It sounded like the seaweed stayed in there for a few minutes, but eventually it seemed to come free and the boat picked up speed again. Something's wrong. I bet seaweed is in the prop. Yep. Wow. There is most definitely seaweed in the prop. It's not autonomous if I'm having to reach my hand back there and clean off this sushi burrito. Oh man, yeah, look at that thing. That's a lot of seaweed. Okay, well, I'll flip it back into auto mode. There it goes, it's off. Hopefully we didn't waste too much power spinning that seaweed in circles. But although we probably did, I don't know how long it's been wrapped up like that. So we failed at our goal of circumnavigating Bainbridge Island autonomously. But I'm gonna keep the boat going just in case there's any chance that it could still complete the waypoint mission. Maybe we'll discover some new unknown issues with the design. But first we're gonna fast forward to the next day when I decided to do a little investigation of this so-called weedless propeller getting wrapped up in weeds. so I took the boat to the lake and drove it straight into some lake weeds to see what would happen. There's definitely some weeds on there. Let's see if they come off at full throttle. Yeah, they do kind of come off at full throttle. That's actually pretty impressive. It does de-weed itself. It did okay with the lily pads, but it really struggles with the stringy stuff. The idea behind these propellers is that they have a lot of sweep to the blades, so instead of hooking onto the weeds and getting tangled in them, they're supposed to just kind of screw through the weeds like a screw going through wood. My propeller is tangled in seaweed, so that's a problem right now.
Oh yeah,
It's
why did you go right there? Pick it up.
I can't, it's too heavy. In the Blue Robotics implementation of this propeller on their Blue boat, it's mounted behind the hull and above the keel, so it's kind of protected on the top and bottom. Seaweed would only be coming at it from the left and right sides. In my implementation, the bottom of the propeller is exposed, so this probably makes it wrap up in the weeds much more easily. Maybe if I would have made my boat more like the Blue boat here with a deeper keel protecting the propeller, it would have prevented the weeds from getting wrapped up. Not sure. I'll have to experiment with this more in the future. But for now, it's back to the mission. Yeah, that's better. These rocks out ahead of me are reefs. When it's high tide, those are covered, and the boat will go on the outside of those rocks, so closer to the ferries, which is a little sketch. But luckily the ferries are going by right now, so I think it'll be clear when we're there. Currently the boat is back behind me. Oh, there's already some more seaweed on it. Yep, we got a big old stringer on there. Look at that. Okay, and back into auto mode. Maybe I need to have the motor mounted lower in the water so that it misses all the seagrass floating on the surface. There's a lot of jellyfishes out here. Whoa, the boat just got kicked totally sideways. We're going through more tidal craziness right now. It's all over the place. Oh wow, there's a ton of seals out there. They're all looking at, it looks like they're all looking at the autonomous boat. Look at that, they're all going to check it out. That's so funny. Oh man, this water is wild. These waves are coming out of nowhere. Hopefully they don't swamp the laptop. There's a bald eagle. Just landed on the navigation marker. Oh, that guy shat his pants. Whoa, that was a massive poop. That's so cool. This is like some Nat Geo stuff right here. Wow. They're like meat torpedoes. Wow, we have some crazy turbulent water over here. Our GPS speed is down to 0.5 meters per second. Damn, we're pushing into a strong current right here. Damn, we're gonna be going into the current this whole way, I think. I hope not, I don't know. Yeah, you can just tell we are not going very fast here. I mean, we've already failed the mission, right? Because of the seaweed. And I really don't think that it's gonna have enough battery to do the whole thing because it's already down to 11.5 volts, 11.6 volts. We started out at like 12.2 or something like that. So if we already failed, we might as well just burn battery and go faster. We're now kind of at this southern tip here before we start to head way back up north on the inside passage. So hopefully there's favorable current through here, because if there's not, then we're totally screwed. If that ends up being the case, I might just put the boat in the boat and go home. So apart from the seaweed, the boat seemed to be doing pretty well. Although the fact that this small amount of current was able to cut its speed in half is a bit concerning. I did, however, have the throttle PWM signal capped so that the motor couldn't actually run at full throttle. If I didn't have it capped, I think it's possible we could have punched through the current with no speed disruption. But the downside to doing that is that the motor would have wasted a lot more power when it was wrapped up in seaweed, or it could have even burned out. The boat is on course, but man, this sure does look like a sketchy course. That guy is sneaking up behind us. I hope he cuts this corner tighter than me. I'm riding the outside of it, but still it just looks really sketchy from here. This could be really bad. I think it'll be fine though. That guy hugged the corner really close. So maybe this guy is just going wide to give the fast ferry some room. Oh yeah, we're totally fine. No problems. Those things are behemoths. I don't know how they float upright. It's so crazy. The base is just so narrow looking. The boat caught up to me. We've got the very precarious jet boil stack going on here. And today for lunch we are having chicken fried rice. We're doing 1.2 meters per second still, and there's no seaweed on the props. We got some breeze going here. I'm sailing. Probably more useful to block the sun though. I could use a bimini top on this boat, that's for sure. Hot, too hot. That would be pretty cool to live right here. The boat kept on going as we transitioned into early afternoon. There's totally a seal checking it out right there. Seals seem to love this thing. It's nice and calm over here, that's for sure. It seems like it's going really slow right now, and I don't know if that's because it actually is, or it's just going with the current, so there's no wave. The GPS says it's still moving decently fast. Oh, yeah, we're definitely going with the current. Thank goodness, that's gonna help us out a lot, because we got a long ways to go. Whoa, look at those old boats. Those things look ancient. The boat is way out there in the distance. There's a bald eagle sitting on the beach, looking for fish or crabs or something. Wow, that thing is punching through some waves now. And these aren't even big waves, man. Even the GoPro is getting splashed. Man, I don't think this thing would do that well. I mean, it's doing fine. Whoa! In order for me to feel confident of this boat in rougher conditions than this, I think the enclosures would need to be more robust because waves are hitting everywhere. So it looks like we're still doing 1.3 meters per second or 1.2 meters per second. From the looks of the map, there's a cool bay back in here, but you might only be able to get in there during high tide. That entrance does not look very deep. It's real shallow in here. I do not think I'm gonna make it in there. I see the autonomous boat, it's way out there. Wow, that's cool. They got their own train track to launch the boat. We've been going through a big junk patch and it doesn't look like anything is caught on the prop, so that's good. We've made it pretty far. We've come a lot of miles. There it is. Uh-oh. Hopefully this speedboat doesn't hit it. Okay, I think we're safe. I feel like there's a pretty good chance this thing would be able to finish the mission on its own. But if I'm being totally honest with you, I'm bored. And the fact that this thing already failed makes me feel like it's kind of pointless to continue because it's going to take quite a long time. So I think what I'm going to do is just put it in the boat and then start heading back. We've made it that far. So we are over halfway. All right, got it on board. All right, it's off. What I found next would make me change my mind about thinking that the boat would have been able to complete the mission. Wow, I was dumb. I thought we had a chance. There's no way. Zero chance this boat would have made it through here. This current is ripping. I'm gonna pull up this speed thing here. Okay, I'm gonna shut off the motor. I could turn up the max PWM and get even more power, but I still don't know if it would be enough to push through this current because we're going 4 knots. I don't trust this. Okay, I'll have to convert that to meters per second later, but I do not think this boat would have been able to push through this section. And if it was able to, it would take a ton of power. Yeah, look at this eddy behind the bridge. This made me realize that to complete this mission, I'm either going to need a really fast boat or I'm going to need to time the current just right. But that's hard to do because oddly enough, I checked the tides at this point in time and it said the tide was falling. So the water should have been flowing out under this bridge, not in. Plus, like an hour and a half earlier, the current was flowing in the opposite direction when I was further back in the canal. So I feel like the currents around here are just super difficult to predict. I'm not sure how to do that. A few days later, I brought the boat out to the lake and disabled the throttle PWM cap to see what its true max speed really is. Oh wow, that's actually faster than I remember it ever going. Looks like we're up to 2.6 meters per second. That's pretty good. Why is it going faster than it used to go at full throttle? It seems like it got lighter or something. 2.6 meters per second is 5 knots, so the boat probably actually could have made it through that fast current, but it only would have been moving forward at 1 meter per second, so it would have taken a long time and it would have expended a lot of energy to get through that section. Woohoo! We're flying now! Whoa, we got a bogey! It's a good thing I'm going back now because it's supposed to get quite a bit windier and it's already pretty choppy. This boat is not for rough water. This is a flat water boat. All right, I made it back to the marina. We failed the mission, but did this Narco Sub at least deliver? Oh, my drug. Let's see what kind of drug it is. Sorry, that was dumb. So this mission attempt has made me realize that succeeding is going to be much harder than I expected. I need to solve the seaweed issue and either figure out how to time the currents correctly or just build a super fast boat and power through the current. This boat has too blunt of a nose to go very fast. In the first video, I was testing higher throttle levels and you can see how it just plows through the water in a very inefficient way. In order to go fast, I either need a much sharper bow or a planing hull. I actually think my old catamaran would have been better than this new boat if I could power it in some weed-proof way, because despite being a displacement hull, it seemed to have no problem going really fast. But unfortunately, that hull is gone. I could probably mount the motor further underwater on this hull and get it down further away from the weeds, so that could be an option, but it would still be pretty slow, so I'd have to figure out how to time the currents just right. Still not sure what I'll do. Anyhow, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, bye. And oh, by the way, for anyone that bought the color shadow lamp while it's been on back order, thank you for your patience, and the next batch is supposed to arrive within the next week, so we should be able to get those things shipped out very soon. For anyone that hasn't bought one, you can check them out at the link in the description.